Hello and welcome to the 20-minute English class, this time for beginners, perhaps for you. A book, a pen, a telephone. A book, a pen, a telephone. Primero, el artículo indefinido, a. A book. Y luego el objeto, a pen, a telephone. A book, a pen, a telephone. Repeat. A book, a pen, a telephone. Ahora vamos a identificar cada uno, preguntando sobre cada uno. Is this a book? Yes, it is. Que sí, lo es. Is this a pen? Yes, it is. Is this a telephone? Yes, it is. Is this a book? Yes, it is. Is this a pen? Yes, it is. Fijaos, yo pregunto por un objeto para saber si en efecto es el objeto que tengo en la mano. Es un libro, pero yo uso el pronombre demostrativo this, esto. Is this? Empiezo con el verbo to be is, en la tercera persona del singular. Is. ¿Es esto un libro? Literalmente es lo que digo. Is this? Y digo this, porque está dentro de mi alcance. Si estuviera fuera de mi alcance, diría yo that, no this. Is this a book? Y luego respondo a mi propia pregunta diciendo que sí, en efecto lo es. Yes, it is. It is. No repito this, porque sería redundante. Pero vamos a repetir la operación. Is this a book? Yes, it is. And this? Is this a pen? Yes, it is. Is this a telephone? Yes, it is. Is this a pen? Yes, it is. Is this a book? Yes, it is. Is this a telephone? Yes, it is. Yes. Por supuesto, sabéis la palabra para decir sí en inglés. Yes. Pero fijaros en la pronunciación. Yes. No se dice yes. 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 Entrando como si fuera una I latina. Como en la palabra hielo en castellano. Hielo. Yes. Is this a telephone? Yes, it is. Is this a pen? Yes, it is. Is this a book? Yes, it is. Is this a book? No, it's not. No, it's not. Is it a pen? No, it's not. What is it? It's a telephone. Is this a telephone? No, it's not. Is it a book? No, it's not. What is it? It's a pen. Is this a pen? No, it's not. Is it a telephone? No, it's not. Well, entonces, what is it? It's a book. Ahora vamos a mirar esto un poquito. Ahora he preguntado por este objeto, pero usando el nombre de otro. Is this a book? Y claro, está claro que no lo es. No es un libro, es un boli. Is this a book? No, it is not. Ello no es. It is not. Pero hacemos la contracción. De it is, contraemos en it's. Fijaos en la pronunciación. It's. Es un sonido complicado que no tenéis en castellano. It's. La lengua detrás de los dientes frontales, donde los dientes se unen con la encía. It's. It's. Is this a book? No, it's not. Not. N-O-T se pronuncia not. Is this a book? No, it's not. Is it? It se refiere al objeto. Is it a telephone? No, it's not. What is it? ¿Qué es entonces? What is it? It's a pen. Is this a pen? No, it's not. No, it's not. Fijaos de nuevo. No, it's not. Is it a book? No, it's not. Well, pues, entonces, what is it? It's a telephone. Is this a telephone? No, it's not. Is it a pen? No, it's not. What is it? It's a book. It's a book. Okay. This is a telephone. This is a pen. This is a book. This is a watch. This is a finger. This is a calendar. This is a bottle. This is a pencil. This is a pen. They are different. This is a pencil. This is a pen. This is a key. This is a table. This is a chair. And this is a shirt. Okay. Todo empieza con this cuando estoy enumerando o identificando objetos. Esto es un teléfono. This. Fijaos otra vez en la pronunciación. No estoy diciendo this is, this. Estoy diciendo this. Saco la lengua y lo coloco debajo de los dientes frontales. Como el ceceo en inglés, Zaragoza. Pero activo las cuerdas vocales. Zaragoza, this. Hacéis el mismo sonido en español. Cuando decís, por ejemplo, hada madrina, hada. Dado que las hadas juegan a los dados, this. O sea, tenéis el sonido en castellano, pero para otra letra. This is a telephone. Para identificar esto. Y repito, cuando está dentro de tu alcance. Si está fuera, tenéis que hacer that. Pero de momento, fijémonos en this. This is a telephone. This is a book. This is a pen. This is a pencil. This is a bottle. This is a calendar. This is a watch. This is a finger. This is a key. This is a table. This is a shirt. And this is a chair. Okay? Eso es enumerando uno por uno. Esto. Identificando. Now, preguntemos. Is this a calendar? Yes, it is. Is this a bottle? Yes, it is. Is this, fijaos, ahora pongo is delante del pronombre demostrativo this. Porque en inglés, al formular una pregunta, el verbo va primero, normalmente. Is this a calendar? Yes, it is. Is this a bottle? Yes, it is. Is this a telephone? Yes, it is. Is this a book? Yes, it is. Is this a pencil? Yes, it is. Is this a pen? Yes, it is. Is this a key? Key, no K. Is this a key? Yes, it is. Is this a shirt? Yes, it is. Is this a finger? Yes, it is. Is this a table? Yes, it is. Is this a ring? Ring. Yes, it is. Is this a chair? Yes, it is. Entonces, acabamos de identificar, creo, 12 objetos. Pero mediante la pregunta. Ahora vamos a mezclar negative and affirmative, okay? Is this a pencil? Yes, it is. Is this a pencil? No, it's not. Recordad. No, it's not. What is it? It's a pen. Is this a pen? No, it's not. Well, what is it? It's a key. Is this a key? No, it's not. What is it? It's a book. Is this a book? No, it's not. What is it? It's a shirt. 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 Is this a shirt? No, it's not. What is it? It's a ring. Is this a ring? No, it's not. What is it? It's a watch. Is this a watch? No, it's not. What is it? It's a finger. It's my finger. Is this a finger? No, it's not. What is it? It's a table. Is this a table? No, it's not. What is it? It's a bottle. Is this a bottle? No, it's not. What is it? It's a calendar. Is this a calendar? No, it's not. What is it? It's a chair. Okay. Now, this is a pencil. It isn't a pen. Okay. Vamos a identificar o vamos a nombrar cosas por su nombre y a veces no por su nombre. Por ejemplo, this isn't a pen. It's a book. This isn't a book. Está claro que no lo es. This isn't a book. It's a pen. This isn't a pen. It's a pencil. This isn't a pencil. It's a key. Primero digo lo que no es el objeto que señalo. Después digo qué es. Okay, this isn't a key. This isn't a key. It's a telephone. This isn't a telephone. It's a calendar. This isn't a calendar. It's a bottle. This isn't a bottle. It's a table. This isn't a table, it's a chair. And this isn't a chair, it's a shirt. It's my shirt. This isn't a shirt, it's a ring. And this isn't a ring, it's a watch. It's my watch. Estamos jugando con el pronombre demostrativo this. This is a telephone. This is a pencil. Is this a pencil? No, it's not. Is it a bottle? No, it's not. Is it a calendar? No, it's not. Is it a key? No, it's not. Is it an elephant? No, it's not. What is it? It's a pen. Is this a pen? No, it's not. What is it? It's a bottle. Is this a bottle? No, it's not. Is it a chair? No, it's not. Is it a shirt? No, it's not. What is it? It's a calendar. ¿Vas entendiendo un poco? Is this a finger? Yes, it is. Is this a shirt? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, fijaos un momento. Is this a telephone? Yes, it is. No sé si lo veis, pero ahora está fuera de mi alcance. Fijaos. Is that a telephone? Yes, it is. Is that a calendar? Yes, it is. Is that a bottle? Yes, it is. Is this a bottle? Yes, it is. Is that a bottle? Yes, it is. Is this? Is that? Is this a pencil? Yes, it is. Is that a door? Yes, it is. Is this a pen? Yes, it is. Is that a light? Una luz? Yes, it is. De nuevo, fijaos en la pronunciación, porque si lo conseguimos bien ahora, será mucho más fácil más tarde. Is this? This. No decimos is this. This. La lengua sí se ve. Is this a pen? Is that? ¿Veis la lengua? Is that a door? Is this a pencil? Is this a pencil? Yes, it is. Is that a window? Yes, it is. Is this a calendar? Yes, it is. Is that a door? Yes, it is. Okay. So, recapitulamos un poquito. This isn't a door. It's a calendar. Okay. That isn't a calendar. It's a door. This isn't a camera. It's a pen. That isn't a pen. It's a camera. You are in the camera. Okay? This isn't a bottle. It's a telephone. That isn't a telephone. It's a window. This isn't a table. It's a bottle. It's a plastic bottle. And that isn't a bottle. It's a chair. This is a chair too. This is a pen. This is a telephone. This is a pencil. This is a bottle. This is a calendar. That's a door. That's a window. That's a camera. Fijaos ahora. He dicho para el pronombre demostrativo. Para demostrar el objeto, digo this. Cuando está dentro de mi alcance o en mi mano. Cuando está fuera de mi alcance, cambio. Abandono this y voy a that. Now, ahora bien, this termina en S. This is. Entonces no puedo hacer una contracción porque no puedes contraer dos S juntas. This is, dos sílabas. This is a telephone. This is a pencil. Ahora, that is a door. That is a door. Sin embargo, cuando hablamos en inglés hacemos la contracción aquí, contrayendo la T junto con la S de is, eliminando la I. That's. Y de nuevo tenemos ese sonido de TS. That's. Como cuando decimos it's. Is this a pencil? Yes, it is. Is this a pencil? No, it's not. No, it's not. Ese sonido, no, it's not. Is that a door? Yes, it is. Is that a door? No, it's not. What is it? It's a window. Now, this is a telephone. That's a door. This is a bottle. That's a window. This is a table. That's a chair. This is a calendar. That's a light. This is a chair. That's a camera. Okay. This is, that is. Pero con las contracciones decimos this is, that's. Y para ir identificando, esto es aquello, esto y aquello, o esto y eso. This is a table, that's a door. This is a calendar, that's a window. This is a bottle, that's a light. This is a pen, that's a chair. This is a book, that's a camera. This is a shirt, and that's a column, una columna, okay? Now, let's recapitulate one more time. Primero, voy a preguntar sobre cada objeto para identificarlo bien. Is this, de nuevo recordad, pongo is primero porque es la formulación de la pregunta. Is this a calendar? Yes, it is. Is this a pencil? Yes, it is. Is this a pencil? No, it's not. Is it a book? No, it's not. Is it a chair? No, it's not. What is it? It's a pen. Is that a pen? No, it's not. Is it a telephone? No, it's not. What is it? It's a door. Is this a door? No, it's not. Is it a calendar? No, it's not. What is it? It's a bottle. It's a plastic bottle. Is that a bottle? No, it's not. Is it a telephone? No, it's not. Is it a chair? No, it's not. What is it? It's a light. Is this a light? No, it's not. Of course. No, it's not. What is it? It's a book. Is this a book? No, it's not. What is it? It's a calendar. Is that, pronunciación, is that a calendar? No, it's not. What is it? It's a chair. Is this a chair? Is this, is that? Is this, is this, is that? Is this, is that? Is this a chair? No, it's not. What is it? It's a key. Okay. Entonces vamos a ir diciendo lo que cada cosa no es para decir luego lo que sí es. This isn't a chair. It's a book. That isn't a book. It's a door. This isn't a door. It's a telephone. This isn't a telephone. It's a ring. This isn't a ring. It's a watch. That isn't a watch. It's a chair. This isn't a chair. It's a table. That isn't a table. It's a light. This isn't a light. It's a shirt. This isn't a shirt. No, it's a table. Is this a table? No, excuse me. This is a chair, not a table. This is a table, but this is a chair. That's a door. This is a book. This is a bottle. This is a pen. This is a key. This is a ring. This is a watch. That's a chair. That's a light. That's a door. That's a window. That's a column. That's a calendar. This is a book. That's a pen. This is a bottle. That's a pencil. And this is a telephone. Yes. Is this a telephone? No, it's not. What is it? It's a bottle. Is this a bottle? No, it's not. What is it? It's a telephone. It's my telephone. And this? What's this? It's a watch. It's my watch. What's this? It's a book. It's my book. What's this? It's a pencil. It's my pencil. It's white. And this? It's a calendar. It's a table calendar. It's my calendar. Okay? Do you understand? All right, very good. I will see you again very soon. Muy pronto nos vemos de nuevo para seguir con este idioma inglés. Thank you. Bye-bye. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back. Welcome back to another English teaching program. My name is Cloverdale and my job is to teach you English, and I will do my best. I will do my best. Okay. There are more people in Spain than in Syria, for example. What's the capital of Spain? The capital of Spain is Madrid. What's the capital of Syria? Do you know? Come on. The capital of Syria is Damascus. Okay. Damascus is an older city than Madrid. So the capital of Syria is older than the capital of Spain. Damascus is an older city than Madrid. Madrid isn't as old as Damascus. Okay. Yeah. This book is big, but it isn't as big as the Quixote. The Quixote is bigger than this book. Okay. Now, Spain and Syria. There are more people in Spain than in Syria. The population of Spain is around 44 or 45 million, and the population of Syria is, I think, around 28 million. The capital of Syria. The population of Syria. Now, there are more people in Spain than in Syria. That's a comparative. More than. There are more people in Spain than in Syria. Now, we can say the same comparative in a different way. If there are more people in Spain than in Syria, that means there aren't as many people in Syria as in Spain. You can also say there are fewer people in Syria than in Spain. So there are three ways to make a simple comparison between Syria and Spain regarding people. There are more people in Spain than in Syria. There are fewer people in Syria than in Spain, or there aren't as many people in Syria as in Spain. Okay. Now, let's look at another question. Let's look at olive oil and olive trees. Aceite de oliva y olivos, los árboles. Okay? Now, Spain, Syria. There are more olive trees in Spain than in Syria. It's very easy. There are more olive trees in Spain than in Syria. Okay? There are fewer olive trees in Syria than in Spain. Or, third possibility, there aren't as many olive trees in Syria as in Spain. Okay? It's clear. The same as people. No change. Now, olive oil. Aceite de oliva. Olive oil. Listen. There is, or contracción, there's more olive oil in Spain than in Syria. Second possibility. There's less olive oil in Syria than in Spain. Okay? Or there isn't as much olive oil in Syria as in Spain. Okay. Now, olive oil, olive trees. There's a difference here. In the affirmative, it's the same. There are more olive trees in Spain than in Syria. There is more olive oil. Okay, we change from there are to there is. From plural to singular. From countable, but you can count olive trees, 1, 2, 3, 4. To olive oil, uncountable, you can't count olive oil. You don't say, ¿cuántos aceites de oliva? You can say, how many bottles of olive oil? Yes. So we change from there is to there are to there is. There are more olive trees in Spain than in Syria. There is more olive oil in Spain than in Syria. Okay, it's clear. There is. It's very simple. The other part, the second part of the equation, same equation. There are fewer. Let's talk with olive oil first. Aceite. There is less olive oil in Syria than in Spain. Less than. There is less olive oil in Syria, than in Spain. Now, there isn't as much olive oil. There isn't as much olive oil in Syria as in Spain. Now, olive trees. There are fewer. Aquí no digo less. Para los plurales, fewer, menos. olivos. There are fewer olive trees in Syria than in Spain. There are fewer olive trees. Okay? There is less olive oil para los singulares o no contables. Less. Para los contables plurales, fewer. Okay? You understand? There are fewer olive trees in Syria than in Spain. There is less olive oil in Syria than in Spain. Or, primero aceite. There isn't as much olive oil in Syria as in Spain. There isn't as much olive oil in Syria as in Spain. There is less olive oil in Syria than in Spain. There aren't as many olive trees. There isn't as much oil. There aren't as many trees. There isn't as much oil. There aren't as many trees in Syria as in Spain. Okay? Now, if you listen to English-speaking people, often you can catch them with a mistake. People, native English speakers like me, often we make a mistake and we say less people. There were less people at the party than I expected. It's a mistake. There were fewer people at the party than I expected. I expected 100 people at the party, and there were only 47. So, there were fewer people at the party than I expected. There weren't as many people at the party than I expected. It's interesting about English. I've been speaking of 3 different possibilities of the comparison. For example, no hay tanta agua no hay tanto aceite de oliva en Syria como en España. There isn't as much olive oil in Syria as in Spain, or there's less olive oil in Syria than in Spain. When we're starting from the less angle, cuando empezamos desde el ángulo de menos que, normally in English we say not as much as. It's more common, for example, to say there aren't as many people in Spain as in France. It's more common than to say there are fewer people in Spain than in France. Both are perfectly correct. And you can say, in Spain there are 45 million people. In France there are 68 million people. So, there are fewer people in Spain than in France. That's perfect English. But it's more common, strangely, even though the sentence is longer and perhaps grammatically more complicated for you, but for us, natives, we normally say, there aren't as many people in Spain as in France. There isn't as much sunlight in France as in Spain. There aren't as many flamenco dancers in France as in Spain. There isn't as much olive oil in France as in Spain. But there isn't as much wine in Spain as in France. We usually say it in the negative with as much as and as many as. Okay, well, let's make a comparison for the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes, however much time we have left. Let's make comparisons between Spain and Syria. People, okay? There aren't as many people in Syria as in Spain. There aren't as many people. There are fewer people. There aren't as many people in Syria as in Spain. Sunlight. There isn't as much sunlight in Spain as in Syria. Of course, in Spain there's a lot of sunlight, luz solar. There's a lot of sunlight in Spain. But there's even more in Syria, because half of Syria is semi-desertic. So there's a lot of sunlight. So there isn't as much sunlight in Spain as in Syria. Factories, fábricas, there aren't as many factories in Syria as in Spain. Fijaos aquí. Siempre as. Okay? Igual en el ejemplo muy sencillo. I am not as tall as Michael Jordan. I'm not as tall as Michael Jordan. I don't have as much money as Michael Jordan. I don't have as many cars as Michael Jordan. In the 3 comparatives, we use as much as many as. I'm not as tall as Michael Jordan. I don't have as much money as Michael Jordan. And I don't have as many cars as Michael Jordan. He has more cars than, with more than, not as. He has more cars than I do. I have fewer cars than he does. I don't have as many cars as he does. Okay, Spain and Syria again. Okay, factories. There aren't as many factories in Syria as in Spain. Spain has more. Spain is not necessarily a highly industrial country, but there's an important industrial base in Spain. And in Syria, less. So there aren't as many factories in Syria as in Spain. Okay? Sand. There isn't as much sand in Spain as in Syria. In Spain, there's a lot of sand. Arena, sand. Because Spain has a long coast, and there's a lot of sand on the beaches, and certain areas of Spain, especially in Almeria, has desert. So there's a lot of sand. But Syria, half of the country is a desert. So there's a lot of sand in Syria. So there isn't as much sand in Spain as in Syria. Camels, clearly. There are a few camels in Spain, but mainly in the zoo and in the Canary Islands. On Lanzarote, maybe there's some camels. But there aren't as many camels in Spain as in Syria. There are more camels in Syria. There are fewer camels in Spain than in Syria. So there aren't as many camels in Spain as in Syria. Oil. Petroleum, oil that you extract from the ground. Black crude oil. Well, there isn't as much oil in Spain as in Syria. Syria doesn't have much oil. Syria is not one of the big Arab producers of oil. However, there is some oil in Syria, especially in the south. And so there's more oil in Syria than in Spain. Because in Spain, there's practically no crude oil at all. Okay? So there isn't as much oil in Spain as in Syria. Or, using the more official word, there isn't as much petroleum in Spain as in Syria. Flamenco dancers. Okay, well, I don't think there are any flamenco dancers in Syria, as far as I know. Probably there's one or two. Okay, but there are a lot of flamenco dancers in Spain, so there aren't as many flamenco dancers in Syria as in Spain. There aren't as many in Syria as in Spain. Okay. Olive trees. Well, as I said before, there aren't as many olive trees in Syria as in Spain. There are a lot of olive trees in Syria because in the Middle East, especially the Mediterranean stretch, el tramo de Oriente Medio, que linda con el Mediterráneo, Lebanon, Israel, Syria, Jordan, these areas, olive trees are very important, and there's a lot of olive oil production. But Spain is number one in the world. There are more olive trees only in the province of Jaén in Spain than all of the Middle East together. Okay? So there aren't as many olive trees in Spain, in Syria, excuse me. There aren't as many. There aren't as many. There aren't. Aren't. Es una sola sílaba. Yo no estoy diciendo there aren't. Okay? There aren't. Aren't. There aren't as many olive trees in Syria as in Spain. Olive oil. Well, again, there isn't as much olive oil in Syria as in Spain. There isn't as much. Rain. That's an interesting question. But I think there isn't as much rain in Syria as in Spain. Spain is a relatively dry country. Certain areas of Spain are not dry. The north of Spain, along the Atlantic coast, Galicia to the Basque country, is relatively wet, a wet area. But in general, Spain is not famous for its rain. But I think there's a bit more rain in Spain than in Syria. So there isn't as much rain in Syria as in Spain. Belly dancers. Bailadores del vientre, the belly dancing. Well, there aren't as many belly dancers in Spain as in Syria. Bedouins. Do you know what the Bedouins are? Bedouins are nomadic Arabs who move a lot from one place to another with their sheep and their goats. Sheep, las ovejas y las cabras. And they move with their tents, their camels or horses, and their sheep and their goats. And they move from one place to another. Bedouins, okay? So, Syria and Spain, Bedouins. Well, clearly, there aren't as many Bedouins in Spain, as in Syria. All right. Comparing things. For example, if I say to you, there isn't as much flour in my house as in yours. There aren't as many flowers in my house as in yours. Did you notice the difference? Let me repeat it. There aren't as many flowers in my house as in yours. I think it's clear. This time, yes, it's clear. There aren't as many flowers in my house as in yours, which means that you or your wife or your family love flowers or like flowers more than my family, and you keep more flowers in your house. So there are more flowers in your house than in mine. Okay? Which means there aren't as many flowers in my house as. Recordad as aquí. Cuando es as much as or as many as. There aren't as many flowers in my house as in yours. Now the second question here. There is more flour in your house than in mine, which means there is less flour in my house than in yours, which means there isn't as much flour in my house as in yours. You understand the second question? Okay. The important thing here is to understand is there are two words. One is flores in plural. I have one flower, a rose, for example. I have two flowers. Okay? Now, I have flower. Do you understand that? I have a flower. Digamos que es una flor. I have a flower in my hand. Now, I have flour in my hand. Can I do this? If I say I have flour in my hand, I can't do this. I have to do this. Because flour is harina. Se escribe flor, pero se pronuncia igual que flor. Una flor. Pero siempre en singular, por supuesto, porque es incontable, flour. So I have flour in my hand. And so in my house, there is some flour. And there are some flowers. In your house, perhaps there isn't any flour, and there aren't any flowers. There's a very big difference between these two. Now, no hay tanta harina en mi casa como la tuya. There isn't as much flour in my house as in yours. Ahora, no hay tantas flores en mi casa como la tuya. There aren't as many flowers in my house as in yours. So now you remember today the word harina y flor sound the same. Hay una flor en la harina. ¿Quién puso una flor en la harina? Who put a flower in the flour? It sounds exactly the same. In America, in England, in Scotland, in Australia, in New Zealand, everywhere. Who put a flower in the flour? Okay. There isn't as much. There aren't as many. I have more free time than you. You don't have as much free time as I do. I have more hours in the day. More free hours than you. You don't have as many free hours as I do. I have more money than you. You don't have as much money as I do. I have more euros in my pocket than you do. You don't have as many euros as I do. Okay? I have more opportunities than you to speak English. You don't have as many opportunities as I do. Okay? I'm not as tall as Michael Jordan. I don't have as much money as Michael Jordan. I don't have as many cars as Michael Jordan. When we speak in the sense of menos que, less than, or fewer than, it's very common. Probably 70 or 80 or 90% of the time, we don't say less than or fewer than. We say not as much as and not as many as. I don't have as much money as the Rockefeller family, and I don't have as many cars as the Rockefeller family. Okay. Do you speak as much English as I do? Probably not, which means you need to continue studying. So, I'll see you again very soon. All right? And study. Don't forget. Bye-bye. Welcome back to another English class, clase de inglés. Que soy un pesado, pero es que Sin estudiar y sin recibir clases de buenos profesores como yo, es imposible aprender bien inglés o aprenderlo como Dios manda. Today we are going to do something extraordinarily important. Okay. Hubo 3 tormentas ayer en el norte, pero hoy no ha habido ninguno. Okay, o ninguna. Yes, yesterday there were 3 storms in the north of Spain. Ah, yes. Really? Were there 3 storms yesterday? Yes, there were. And today? And so far? Hasta ahora? So far today? No. Que yo sepa. As far as I know, there haven't been any storms so far today. Okay. And how many forest fires were there last summer in Spain? Oh. Let's see. I am responsible for the forest service in Spain. Last summer in Spain, there were 329 forest fires officially declared. And so far this year? There have been only 3 because it's not summer yet. So far this year, there have been only 3 forest fires. Okay, and how many factory accidents were there last year? Last year, I am responsible for industrial and labor accidents. Last year, there were 917 factory or work-related accidents. Oh, really? That's a lot. 917 accidents, yes. There were last year. And so far this year, how many work-related accidents have there been so far this year? Let's see. According to my information, there have been 612 accidents so far this year. So, up to now, this year, there have been more accidents than there were in the same period of time last year. Let's see. I have that information here. Yes. Let's see. As of this date, up to now, last year, there had been, había habido, fijaos, pluscuamperfecto. Last year, there had been 511 industrial accidents. And so far this year, there have been 623. So there have been more accidents, industrial accidents this year, than there were last year up to this time. Okay? All right. How many earthquakes have there been in Spain this year? There has been 1 earthquake so far this year. And last year, how many earthquakes were there last year? There weren't any. As far as I know. Que yo sepa, no hubo ninguno. Que yo sepa. As far as I know. As far as I know. As far as I know, there weren't any earthquakes in Spain last year. But this year, there has been 1. Ahora, fijaos un poco en lo que estamos diciendo. Estoy hablando de un terremoto. Hasta ahora, este año, ha habido un terremoto. Ha habido. There has been. There's has been. Fijaos. Eso es una forma de there is. Hay una mesa delante de mí. Hay una cámara delante de mí. There is a table in front of me. There is a camera in front of me. There is a pen in my hand. There is a book in front of me. There is. Si es singular. There are many pages in this book. There are. Cuando es plural. En español no, es igual. Se dice hay. Ya sea plural, ya sea singular. Hay muchas páginas, hay una página. Hay no cambia. No se dice hayan o algo así. There is, there are. En el pasado, there was. There was. Hubo una mesa aquí ayer. There was a table here yesterday. Hubo un incendio forestal el mes pasado. There was a forest fire last month. Porque last month es un periodo de tiempo que ya ha terminado. No tiene vigor ya. Ahora, there was. Y supongamos que el mes próximo habrá uno. There will be a forest fire next month. Si te fijas un poquito, verás que estoy usando el verbo to be, precedido por la palabra there. Entonces, there más una conjugación del verbo to be es nuestra forma en inglés de decir hay, hubo, habrá, habría, podría haber, ha habido, han habido, etc. So, There is a table in front of me. There is a camera in front of me. There was a forest fire last month. There are, plural in presente, there are many pages in this book. There are. There is a book, singular. There are many pages. Past tense, there was a forest fire, singular. There was a forest fire last month. Supongamos que hubo dos. There were 2 forest fires. In English, we change from singular to plural. There was, there were. There is, there are. There was, there were. In Spanish, you don't change. Hubo un incendio forestal. Hubo dos. Hubo muchos incendios. O había. Sometimes people in Spain make the plural. Hubieron. But it's not. It's a mistake. Okay? Y hasta ahora, este mes, ha habido solo un incendio forestal. Up to now, or so far. Dos formas para decir hasta ahora. Up to now, this month, there have been 2 forest fires, for example. Or, si solo ha habido uno, there has been, singular. There más una conjugación del verbo to be. There has been 1 forest fire so far this month. There have been many forest fires. There has been, there have been. Y hacemos la contracción. There's been. There's been at least 1 forest fire so far this month. There's been. Ahora, cuidado. This contraction is a contraction of there has, not there is. There has been at least 1 forest fire so far this year. There's been at least 1 forest fire. In fact, I think there have been 2. There have been 2. Okay, but how many earthquakes were there in Spain last year? There weren't any. And so far this year, there's been 1. There has been 1 small earthquake in Spain this year. How many floods were there in Spain last year? Oof, along the coast and in the north, there were several floods last year. And so far this year, there have been at least 10 major floods, importantes riadas o inundaciones. There have been at least 10 major floods. A small flood affects very few people and destroys very little property. Fijaos, very few, very little. Very few, very little. People is plural. Property is singular. Small floods affect very few people and very little property. Fijaos en la diferencia en few y little, contable, incontable o singular plural. Big floods, major floods affect a lot of people and a lot of property. Okay? A lot of people and a lot of property. A lot of is universal, vale para los dos, o para muchos casos. Now, major, la pronunciación, major, se escribe major, pero se pronuncia may, como el mes de mayo en inglés, major. Okay, major. A major flood affects a lot of people and a lot of property. Okay, how many floods were there last month? Oof, I don't remember. I think there were 5 floods last month. And so far this month, there haven't been any floods. Really? Why haven't there been any floods so far this month? Because this month has been very dry. Siempre estoy usando el presente perfecto. This month has been, porque this month sigue vigente. Puede que llueva a cántaros mañana y hasta el final del mes, pero hasta ahora ha sido un mes súper seco. So far this month, it hasn't rained. So, there haven't been any floods. Fijaos cómo desarrollo la frase. This month, it hasn't rained. So, there haven't been any floods. But last month, it rained almost every day. And it rained cats and dogs. Llovía cántaros. Okay? Perros y gatos. O gatos y perros. Siempre gatos primero en inglés cuando llueve. No sé por qué. It rained cats and dogs. Cats first. Okay? Every day, and so there were quite a few floods. Major floods, in fact. Quite a few major floods last month. Quite a few. Strange expression. A few means unos cuantos, unos pocos. But quite a few means bastantes, más de lo esperado. There were quite a few floods last month. Flood. F-L-O-O-D. Flood. Fijaos en la pronunciación. Don't confuse it with food, which is what you eat. Food. But you insert an L, we don't say flood. We say flood. Isn't English logical? Okay. All right, let's go on. Okay. How many important meetings were there in this room yesterday? Well, as far as I know, there weren't any important meetings in this room yesterday. As far as I know. But I don't know everything. So maybe there was a meeting, or maybe there wasn't. Who knows? Why do you ask me the question? Oh, because you want to know an answer? Well, I'll give you an answer, but I'm not 100% sure. As far as I know, there weren't any meetings in this room yesterday. And question, and so far today, how many meetings have there been? Plural, porque digo meetings in plural. How many meetings have there been so far today in this room? Ah, there have been 2 important meetings so far today. Yeah, already? 2 important meetings so far today? Yes, there have been 2 meetings so far today. There was a short but important meeting at 9 o'clock this morning. And this program is considered, in my opinion, a meeting. So this is an important meeting right now, a meeting between you and me to improve your English, because the problem is yours, it's not mine. I'm the teacher. I don't have the problem. You have the problem, and you need to improve your English. And so you need to watch this program carefully, and after you watch it, you need to watch it again and again and again until you get tired of my face. And then maybe, once you get sick and tired, hasta harto, fed up with, como decimos los americanos, my face, or los británicos, fed up of my face, then maybe your English will start to improve significantly. And that's my objective, and I hope that's your objective. Okay, so now how many verbs have I taught so far today? Only one. There, más uno forma el verbo to be. Hay, hubo, habrá. Hay un problema. There is a problem. Hay 2 problemas. There are 2 problems. Hubo problema ayer. There was a problem. Hubo 2 problemas ayer. There were 2 problems yesterday. Habrá un problema mañana. There will be a problem tomorrow. Va a haber un problema más tarde. There is going to be. There will be, futuro simple. There is going to be. Va a haber. Va a haber una fiesta esta noche o habrá una fiesta esta noche. 2 formas bastante parecidas. In Spanish and in English it's the same. There will be a party tonight. There is going to be a party tonight. Y si son 2 fiestas, no digo there is going to be a party. Digo there are going. Cambio there is a there are. Pero going to be sigue en vigor. There are going to be 2 parties tonight, not 1. Pero con there will be no cambia. There will be 1 party, there will be 2 parties. Y hasta ahora este mes, ¿cuántas fiestas ha habido cada noche? How many parties have there been so far this month? Well, so far this month, there has been only 1. There has been only 1. O hago la contracción. There's been only 1 party so far this month. Wait a minute, I don't agree. I remember 2 weeks ago on the 4th of this month, there was a party in Jennifer's house. Is that correct? Ah, yes, that's right. Ah, sí, en efecto. That's right. That's right, in efecto. There was a party in Jennifer's house. And isn't it true that there was a party here last night? Yes, it's true. So, it's not true that there has been, singular, it's not true that there has been only 1 party so far this month. You admit that there have been, saltando al plural, there have been at least 2 parties so far this month. Yeah, I guess you're right. I suppose you're right. Okay. I guess means yo adivino, pero también es yo supongo, sobre todo cuando estás renunciando. I guess you're right. There have been. Ahora, en castellano decís, ¿ha habido una sola fiesta este mes? ¿O ha habido 2? Mucha gente en Levante, en Baleares, dicen, han habido 2. Pluralizan, como hacemos en inglés. Entonces uno puede decir que el castellano hablado en Levante es más cercano al inglés. En este aspecto, sí. There has been one party, there have been two parties so far this month. And I think it's true. There was a party at Jennifer's house on the 4th, and in effect, there was a party here last night. So there have been two parties so far this month. Did you come to either one of them? You didn't? Well, I think you should come to the next one. Really. The parties we have are nice, eh? We have a lot of fun. Would you like to come to the next party? We only speak English in the party. So if your English is not good enough, you can't come. We won't let you in the door. There's a bouncer at the door, which is a big gorilla, standing at the door. And when you come to the party here, or in Jennifer's house, for example, this big bouncer says, "What do you want?" Cloverdale invited me to the party. Do you speak English? A little. Okay. Tell me the irregular verbs in English. Good luck. Which means if you want to come to our parties, you have to study. You have to study a lot. Okay? Shall we continue? Do we have time? Let's continue. Okay. How many train accidents were there in Spain last week? Well, I don't think there were any. I don't think there were any train accidents in Madrid last week, or in Spain last week. And so far this week, hasta ahora esta semana, and so far this week, well, this week, so far, there haven't been any train accidents. No, there haven't been any train accidents. So last week there weren't any, and this week there haven't been any. Last week there weren't any, and this week there haven't been any train accidents. No. Okay. Next week, who knows? Maybe there will be, or there may be, reduciendo. There may be a train accident next week, but I doubt it. Okay? How many good films were there in this city last week? Oh, for me, none. 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 Ninguno. I don't like the films nowadays. I like the movies when I was young. The movies now are not very good. So in my opinion, there weren't any good movies in this city last week. Really? And so far this week? Well, as far as I know, there haven't been any good movies in the theaters in this city so far this week either. Because the movies this week are the same as the ones last week. Fijaos como uso ones. The movies this week are the same as those in the theaters last week, in the cinema last week. The movies this week are the same as the ones last week. And the ones last week were bad, in my opinion. So the ones this week are bad as well. So there haven't been any good movies lately. Cuando digo últimamente, lately o recientemente, recently, solemos usar o casi siempre usamos el presente perfecto. There no ha habido últimamente. There haven't been any good movies in the cinema lately. There weren't any good movies last month, and there haven't been any good movies this month. In fact, in my opinion, there weren't any good movies last year, and so far this year, as far as I know, there haven't been any good movies. I haven't seen a good movie in a long time. Have you? Do you like to go to the cinema? Do you like to go to the movies? Do you like to see movies in the cinema? I don't know. Okay. And how many hurricanes were there in the Caribbean last summer? Wow, not many. 2 years ago, there were quite a few. Hubo bastantes huracanes grandes, like Katrina. There were quite a few important, major hurricanes in the Caribbean 2 years ago. But last year, there weren't many. And so far this year, there haven't been any. There haven't been any hurricanes so far this year. Why? Because the hurricane season, la temporada, hasn't started. The hurricane season starts in the middle of July and it ends at the end of October for the Caribbean. And there haven't been any hurricanes so far this year. Last year there were 3 major hurricanes, but the year before, 2 years ago, there were at least 10 with a lot of destruction, affecting quite a few people and quite a lot of property. Okay, but let's not talk about hurricanes and train accidents and floods and forest fires. These are bad things. I promise in the next class to talk about good things, okay? But nevertheless, No obstante, whether it's good things or bad things, you need to know how to say them in English, okay? Which means you have to study, my friend, okay? Otherwise, I'm wasting my time, I'm wasting my breath, I'm wasting my energy. And worse, you're wasting your time, your breath and energy too, watching me. So sit down after this class and study, okay? Thank you, and see you very soon. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome. Welcome to another English class and welcome to a beginner's class. Now this class is a class for you and a class for me. Hoy me toca un reto. And today I have a challenge. From my head, without a list, I'm going to teach you as many verbs as possible. Verbs, verbos. Verbs. To go is a verb. To come, to eat, to see, to play, etc. are verbs. Let's make a list. Hagamos una lista. You and me. Let's make a list of action verbs. Now I think there are about 80 action verbs in English. Only 80. At least 80 relevantes, important action verbs. And let's see how many in 19 or 20 minutes, how many action verbs we can list, okay? Are you ready? Okay, first, I'm looking at you. Yeah, I'm looking at you. To look at, that's one. So we have 79 left. Nos quedan 79. We have 79 left. I am looking at you, and you're looking at me. And if I'm looking at you, and you are, contracción, you're looking at me, then we're looking at each other. We are, contracción, we're looking at each other. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, we're looking at each other. Okay. Now, I'm pointing at you. Okay? I'm pointing at you. I'm pointing at you with my right hand. Okay? To point. To point at. I'm pointing at you. And point at me. Come on. Okay? Now you're pointing at me. And now we are pointing at each other. Okay. So, por lo tanto, so that's 2 action verbs. We have 78 left. Wow. I'm not sure we'll have time. All right. I'm sitting in a chair. I'm sitting at the table. I'm sitting in front of you. To sit. Estar sentado is to sit. Siéntate is sit down. Una vez que te sientas, estás sentado. Once you sit down, you're sitting. So I'm sitting in front of you. Okay, now I'm standing. Estoy de pie. I'm not sure if I can stand because the camera, but to stand is estar de pie. ¿Qué estás haciendo? Pues estoy de pie. Aquí de pie. I'm standing. I'm sitting. I'm standing. Okay? So, we have 4 action verbs. Now, watch. I'm getting up. Slowly. Me estoy levantando. I'm getting up. I'm getting up. So, to get up is another action verb. Es lo que llamamos un verbo compuesto o phrasal verb, compound verb. Get tiene 1000 significados, pero con up, to get up, is levantarse, to get up. All right? I'm speaking to you. To speak, another action verb. I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to you in English. I'm not speaking to you in Spanish. I'm speaking to you. Also, if we start a conversation, you and me, then I'm not speaking to you. I'm talking to you, okay? So to talk and to speak, both in the dictionary, ambos have the definition of hablar. However, there's a difference. There's an important difference sometimes, and other times no. I need to speak to you about this problem. I need to talk to you about this problem is the same. But if you are a mother or a father, a parent, and you go to the school of your this primary school where your son is taking classes, and you go to visit the teacher. And the teacher says to you, Jimmy speaks a lot in class. I said, oh, good. That's nice. Our son speaks a lot in class. Yes, he speaks a lot in class. Then probably you're happy. But if the teacher tells you, Mr. Jones, Jimmy talks a lot in class, that means that Jimmy is not paying attention to the teacher and he's talking with another student. So to speak is to direct your speech, to address a person, dirigirse a una persona. Address como dirección o señas. And to talk is simply to converse, okay? I'm talking to you and I'm speaking to you, okay? I'm looking at you, I'm pointing at you, okay? And this pen, I'm holding it in my right hand. Now I'm holding it in my left hand. To hold. Sujetar o sostener. To hold. Yes, I'm holding the pen tightly. I'm holding the pen loosely. To hold. Now I'm holding the pen in both hands. And now I'm not holding the pen. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 action verbs hasta ahora, so far. We have covered 8 action verbs so far. I don't think we're going to have time. We need 10 times more. So let's continue. Now, I'm putting the pen on the table. I'm putting the cap of the pen on the table. So to put is colocar o poner. I'm putting the pen in my pocket. I'm putting the pen in my pocket. Okay? Yes. All right. My hands are closed. I'm opening my hand. So to open is another verb, to open. This book is open. It's not closed. Okay? I am closing the book. I'm closing the book. And now I'm opening the book. Opening, closing, opening, closing. It's very easy for you. So we have 3 more verbs. To put, I'm putting the pen on the table. I'm opening the book. I'm closing the book. Okay. All right. So we have many more verbs. We have 11 verbs now. All right. So if I lose my pen, I'm looking for my pen. Where is it? I can't find my pen. I'm looking for it. Okay, here it is. So to look for is another verb using look, but with a different preposition. To look at, to look for. Okay? And now I am scratching my elbow. This is my elbow, and my elbow itches, so I'm scratching. Okay, scratching my elbow. To scratch. To scratch. Interesting word. Scratch is rascar, o también arañar, to scratch. I can take this pen and I can scratch your car. If I'm bad, I can scratch your car. Okay? Or I can accidentally scratch my face. But now I'm scratching my elbow. Now I'm scratching my forearm. Now I'm scratching the back of my hand. And now I'm scratching the palm of my hand. And now I'm scratching my head. And now I'm scratching my nose. Okay? So to scratch. And it's very interesting. In English, we have an expression. When you say in Spanish, partir de cero, in English we say to start from scratch. We don't say to start from zero. Okay? To start from scratch. Okay, we have 13 verbs now. Let's continue. Now, what am I doing? I'm breathing. I'm breathing. In order to live, I need to breathe. I'm breathing oxygen. Oxígeno. There is oxygen in the air. In the atmosphere, there is oxygen. Basically, we have oxygen and nitrogen. We need oxygen. We don't need nitrogen for breathing. Okay? And we breathe in and we breathe out. Breathe in I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. To inhale, to exhale, to breathe in, to breathe out. Okay, so we have another verb, breathing. Okay, and now I am blinking my eyes. Can you see my eyes? I'm blinking my eyes faster than usual. Everybody needs to blink their eyes. And maybe we blink our eyes 5 times per minute, 10 times per minute. I don't know. I have no idea. I have never counted how many times I blink my eyes. But you can blink a lot, or you can try to keep your eyes open. But now I'm blinking my eyes. Okay? You have 2 words in Spanish for that. You have parpadear and you have pestañear. Okay. To blink. Blink. Okay? Now, one eye is not to blink. If I want to say, hello, and I wink, W-I-N-K. Es como blink, pero quitas la BL y pones una W. Wink. You wink. When you wink, do you wink with your right eye or with your left eye? Which eye do you use to wink? I'm winking at you. Okay. Next one. Drinking. This is a cup of water. Okay? This isn't a glass of water. It's a cup because it's made of plastic. If this were made of glass, this would not be a cup. It would be a glass of water. And I'm drinking. I'm drinking some water because I'm thirsty. If I weren't thirsty, I wouldn't drink any water. But I'm thirsty. Tengo sed. Estoy sediento, decimos en inglés. I'm thirsty, so I'm drinking algo de agua, some water. And I'm putting the cup back on the table. So to drink, of course. And then we have to eat. I'm holding a fork in this hand. I'm holding a knife in this hand, and I'm cutting a steak, un filete, to cut. It's another verb, action verb. I'm cutting, con doble T en medio. I'm cutting the steak, and I'm eating the pieces of the meat. Okay? So I'm cutting and I'm eating. And I'm drinking water, and I'm eating steak, and I'm cutting the steak. Okay. So we have the verb to eat. Eating. I'm eating, I'm drinking, I'm cutting, I'm winking, I'm blinking, I'm scratching, I'm yawning. I'm sleepy today. Can't you see my eyes? I'm yawning, bostezando, con Y al principio. Yawn. Y-A-W-N. I'm yawning, and I'm holding my hand over my mouth. I'm holding my hand over my mouth. I'm covering my mouth. Okay? Because I'm yawning. Okay, and now I'm covering the pen with the book. To cover. There are a lot of action verbs in English and in Spanish. I'm yawning, I'm covering my mouth. Okay, I'm blinking, I'm eating, I'm drinking. There are many things, many verbs that are easy to learn in the present continuous. Cosas que estoy haciendo ahora. Acciones en vías de realización. All right. I'm opening my eyes, I'm closing my eyes. Okay. So, shall we continue? Now, I am rolling up my sleeves. To roll. Okay. If you have a wheel, una rueda, it rolls. It can roll this way, it can roll that way. If I drink all the water in this glass, if I finish the water, I can put this cup sideways and I can roll it. I'm rolling the cup. Okay? I'm rolling. Okay? Rolling, rolling, rolling. The Rolling Stones, que es la piedra que rueda. The Rolling Stones. And when you see a car, you see 4 wheels. And if the car is moving, all 4 wheels are rolling. Not just 3, but all 4 are turning. They are rolling. And to turn. Okay, to turn is another verb. Okay. This book is in front of me. And now I'm turning the first page. I'm opening the book by turning the first page. Now I'm turning the second page. I'm turning the third page. Now I'm closing the book and I'm turning the book around. I'm turning the book around. Verbos compuesto que añado around. Cuando es darle la vuelta de esta forma. And now I'm turning the book around again. Okay. And now I'm turning the book over. And now I'm turning the book over again. So to turn. Okay. To push. This table is too close to me. I'm pushing the table away from me. I'm pushing the table in your direction, not in my direction. And I'm still, todavía estoy empujando. And now, what am I doing? Well, I'm still pushing the table. And now, I'm still pushing the table. Now the table is too far. It's too far away from me. The table is too far away from me, so I need to bring the table closer. How? Pulling. Tirando de. So I have to push and to pull. Very easy. I'm pulling the table towards me. Hacia mí. Towards me. Y por cierto, towards, se puede decir sin la S, toward. There are two spellings, toward and towards. I'm pulling the table towards me. Okay, now. Now I'm moving the cup to the other side of the table, and I'm moving the book to this side of the table. So we have to move, que es desplazar o mover. Okay, to move. All right. There are many verbs. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Hasta ahora. ¿Cómo se dice hasta ahora? Hasta ahora hemos visto 26 verbos de acción. So far, como tan lejos. So far, hemos visto, we have seen 26 action verbs. Otra forma para hasta ahora. Up to now. Until now? No me gusta. Up to now, we have seen 26 verbs. So far, we have seen 26 verbs. And maybe I have time for one or two more. Okay? This piece of paper has my verbs, and I am folding the paper. I'm folding the paper. Doblar, papel o tela, is to fold. También un pliegue is a fold. Okay? To fold. Plegar. I'm folding the paper. Okay? Now this, I'm not folding the pen because this pen isn't made of paper or material. Tela. Fabric material. This pen is hard, so I'm bending this pen. To fold and to bend. Ambos se traducen por doblar. Okay? Pero es una forma de doblar y otro. Soft is fold. Hard is bend. Okay? And I'm bending my arm. I'm bending my arm. Okay? I'm bending my leg. Okay? So, to fold and to bend. So now we have 28. So far we have covered 28 action verbs. I want to teach you 80 action verbs. So I still have a lot left. How many do I have left? Well, I have 52 action verbs left. 52 action verbs. There are a lot more. Okay, to count, to touch, to reach. Many more. So we'll see you again in a new show, and we'll continue, maybe if we have time, we'll continue looking at action verbs, winking and more, okay? So, study hard, study a lot, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to another program, English. I'm dressed very formally today because today I need to be serious because Claire, the director of these programs, told me I'm not serious enough. She told me, Cloverdale, English is a very serious subject for many people. There are many people in this country who desperately need to improve their English, and you take it lightly. You need to take it very seriously. So the next time you come with a tie. Okay? So I'm dressed semi-formally, because usually in English there are three ways to dress. Formal dress, which usually is a bow tie, una pajarita, a bow tie, and a tuxedo or a smoking jacket. Semi-formal is this, and casual or informal is blue jeans or with an open neck shirt. That's informal or casual. Sometimes I teach casual and sometimes semi-formal. I have never given a class dressed formally with a bow tie. And I think the last time I wore a bow tie was 30 years ago. Okay. Do you have enough money to buy the Taj Mahal? Do you have enough money to buy a mansion? Do you have enough money to buy a Maserati? Do you have enough patience to sit down and listen to me? Do you have enough time, really, to study English properly? Enough. Okay. I don't have enough money to buy a car right now. I don't have enough time to study a new degree, una nueva carrera. But I have enough time to read a book. Now, question. See this book? Can you put this book in your pocket? Put this book in your pocket, okay? You can't. What's the problem? The book is too big. The book is too big. Is this book too big for your pocket? Or is your pocket too small for the book? What's the problem? You say, this book isn't small enough. Okay. In other words, your pocket isn't big enough. So we have 4 ways of talking about the problem. There's a problem here. I want you to put this book in your pocket. But there's a problem. I have a problem too. If I want to put this book in my pocket, I have 4 problems. Problem number 1. The book is too big. It's too big for my pocket. Problem number 2. My pocket is too small for the book. Problem number 3. The book isn't small enough to put in my pocket. Problem number 4. My pocket isn't big enough to accommodate this book. So, we have 4 ways of expressing the same idea. Another idea. I want to touch the ceiling, but I can't. The ceiling is too high. I'm not tall enough. Or the ceiling isn't low enough. Or I'm too short. Again, we have 4 ways of expressing the problem here, the limitations here. Let's look at them carefully. The ceiling is too high for me to touch. The ceiling is too high. I can't touch it. It's too high. Or, I'm too short to touch the ceiling. Or, I'm not tall enough to touch the ceiling. Or, the ceiling isn't low enough for me to touch it. Okay. Again, we have 4 possibilities. Okay. Now, I want to read this book, but I can't. It's too far away. I can't read it. It's too far away. Now, is it close enough? No, it's still too far away. And now I can't read it either. It's too close. But if I move it out, now it's far enough away for me to read. Okay, look, the ceiling, it's a normal ceiling. It's not a special ceiling. The ceiling's not very high, really, but it's too high for me to touch. In Spanish, you use the language in a freer way. In English, we're very specific. Sometimes you say, no puedo tocar el techo, es muy alto. You can't say that in English unless the ceiling is very high. And this is a normal ceiling. It's not very high, but it's too high for me to touch. So when you say in Spanish, for example, no puedo tocar el techo porque es muy alto el techo. In English, we don't say, I can't touch the ceiling because it's very high. Because in fact, the ceiling is not very high. But we specify. We qualify. I can't touch the ceiling, but it's too high. And too is relative to my height. For example, no puedo tocar el techo porque soy muy bajo. That's not true. I'm 1 meter 80 centimeters, so I'm not necessarily a short person, but I'm too short to touch the ceiling. Okay, or you can say I'm not tall enough to touch the ceiling, or the ceiling isn't low enough for me to touch it. Okay, listen, I'm not tall enough. Enough va después de los adjetivos y los adverbios. Okay? Adjective, tall. I'm not tall enough to touch the ceiling. Enough goes after. Si es un sustantivo, enough va de antes. I don't have enough money to buy a yacht. Enough money. I don't have enough time to study a new language. I don't have enough patience to teach Spanish to English-speaking people. I don't have enough water to quench my thirst. I need more. Enough time, enough water, enough money, enough patience. Okay? All of these words are nouns, and enough goes before. But with adjectives and adverbs, after. The ceiling isn't low enough for me to touch it. I'm not tall enough to touch the ceiling. Your English is not good enough to negotiate $1 million contract in English. Okay? This table isn't light enough for me to carry it. It's too heavy. It's too heavy for me to carry. Claire, she told me before the class to carry this table to my car. And I said, I can't, Claire. The table is too heavy. She says, too heavy? Do you mean you're not strong enough to carry the table? No, I'm not strong enough. And she said, it's not a question of your being strong enough. You're too weak to carry the table. And I said, it's true. I'm too weak to carry this table because the table isn't light enough. So, 4 possibilities with table. I can't carry this table to my car for 4 reasons. Reason number 1, it's too heavy. Really, for a table, this is not really very heavy. It's a relatively light table. But for me, it's too heavy for me to carry. Or it's not light enough. This pen is light enough for me to pick up and carry with no problem. This table isn't light enough. It's too heavy. I'm not strong enough. If I were Superman, if I were Hercules, if I were, I don't know, Samson with long hair, maybe I could carry this table to my car. But the table's too heavy for me. I'm not strong enough. The table is too heavy for me. I'm not strong enough. The table isn't light enough. I'm too weak. Demasiado débil. But I don't consider myself necessarily a weak person. But I'm too weak to carry this table. I'm not strong enough to carry this table. Okay. Yes. All right. Too and enough. Too difficult. El inglés es demasiado difícil para mí. English is too difficult. No es que sea muy difícil, pero es demasiado difícil para ti. Por ejemplo. English is not really difficult, but it's too difficult for some people. This table is not necessarily heavy, but it's too heavy for me. Okay? So, are you strong enough to carry an elephant? Are you strong enough to lift a car? Are you smart enough or intelligent enough to study calculus and algebra? Are you tall enough to play basketball in the professional leagues? Do you speak English well enough to negotiate a contract using the English language? Do you play the guitar well enough to compete with Paco de Lucia? All right. Do you know English well enough to maintain a simple conversation with me. All right. Do you speak well enough? Enough va después de los adjetivos, después de los adverbios. Okay. My English is good enough. Good is an adjective. Mi inglés es lo suficientemente bueno como para negociar un contrato importante. My English is good enough, an adjective, to negotiate a contract in English. I speak well enough. Well is an adverb. I speak well enough, okay, to negotiate a contract. Now, can I put this book in my pocket? No, I can't. The book is too big. My pocket isn't big enough to accommodate the book. My pocket is too small, or the book isn't small enough. Now, I remember about 10 years ago, I was working in a shop. I was the shop assistant, and the shop was devoted to musical instruments. And I remember one day in the morning, early, I opened the shop, nobody there, and a strange man walked into the shop. And I said, yes, may I help you? And the man said, yes, I want to buy a musical instrument. I said, very well. What do you have in mind? I don't know. Let's hear them. And I said, okay, here. And I took a flute or a piccolo. And I said, listen, with a piccolo. And the man said, no. Oh, no. That instrument is too high. I want an instrument a bit lower. That instrument is too high and too shrill. Ah, okay. So I went to the tuba. And I took the tuba and I went, and the man said, no. That instrument is too low. It's not high enough. That instrument is too low. Okay. So I changed. And I went to another instrument. And I got the guitar. And I played the guitar. He said, no. I said, well, what's the problem? He said, that instrument is too light. I want a heavier instrument. Okay, the instrument is too light. You want a heavier instrument. So I went to the piano, and I sat down at the piano, and I started playing the piano. And the man said, no. And I said, what's the problem with the piano? He said, it's too heavy. I can't take it to a party. Okay, so one instrument is too light. The other instrument is too heavy. Another instrument is too high. Another instrument is too low. Okay, well, wait a minute. So I went to the trumpet. And I got a trumpet, which is light, like a guitar. I said, no. That instrument is too loud. Okay, it's too noisy. It's too loud. I want a quieter instrument. Oh, so I went to a clavichord, and I sat down at the clavichord, which was the favorite instrument of the wives during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance and the classical period. When the husband was sleeping, they played the clavichord when they suffered insomnia. And I sat down at the clavichord. La, da, 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 da. He said, no. That instrument is too soft. I want an instrument a bit louder, but the trumpet is too loud. I said, okay, let's see. The trombone. So I got a trombone. And I got the... He said, oh, not bad. But no, and I said, what's the problem with the trombone? It says, it's too long. Too long? What do you mean too long? Well, I need to move that slide, said Islitha, with my arm, and my arm isn't long enough to reach the end. My arm is too short to play the trombone. I said, okay, wait. And so I got a clarinet. A clarinet. I said, no, clarinet, no. I said, what's the problem with the clarinet? And he said, there are too many keys. I need to use my fingers too much. I said, okay. And I said, well, what do you suggest? The trumpet is too loud. The clavichord is too soft. With the trombone, your arm isn't long enough and the slide is too long. With the piano, it's too heavy. With the guitar, it's too light. With the piccolo, it's too high. And with the tuba, it's too low. I think I have the perfect instrument for you, sir. Oh, good. What instrument is that? I said, a CD player. There you can play the music loud if you turn up the volume, and you can turn down the volume and make it soft. You don't need a long arm to turn on it, and it's not too high if you control the treble and the bass, and it's not too low if you control the bass and the treble, and it's perfect. And you can carry it with you because it's relatively small. It's not too big, it's not too small, okay? And you can carry it, it's not too heavy, but it's not too light like this pen or this cup of water. So I recommend a record player or a CD player. And he said, perfect, I'll buy it. How much? And I said, let's see, it is 173 euros. No, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. It's only 170 euros and it's a very good CD player. Yes, but I only have 85 euros. So it's too expensive for me. It's not cheap enough. I don't have enough money. All right? I'm not rich enough. So we have 4 possibilities for our final problem with this customer in my shop. Then the problem boils down to, como hierve, cuece, se reduce a. It boils down to 4 problems. Our friend doesn't have enough money. He's too poor to buy the CD player. He's not rich enough. And the CD player is too expensive for him. It's not cheap enough. There are many different ways. So finally I said, okay, do you see this pen? Well, if you push this button, it makes music. This is the cereal I shot from guns. Okay, a musical pen. How much is it? It's only 5 euros. Fantastic. I'll take it. And I gave him the pen. And he gave me the money. And he took the pen and he said, yes. But is this pen big enough for my pocket? Oh, yes, it is. Is my pocket big enough for the pen? Yes, it is. Try. Does it work? Yes. Okay. Push the button. Listen to the music. Is it too loud? No, it's not too loud. It's just right. Is it too soft? It's not too soft. It's just right. Okay. Fantastic. I hope to see you again. And he walked away a happy customer. Okay. And me? Was I a happy shop assistant? Well, I had 5 euros after 15 minutes, which is not really good, but it was the first 15 minutes that I opened the shop. And usually in my shop, the first 15 minutes, nobody comes in, so I'm happy too. And are you happy with your English? Are you going to study? Are you going to learn too high, too low, too big, too small, not big enough, not high enough, not expensive enough, not cheap enough? Remember, if you study, you can learn these. All right. See you soon. Bye-bye. Hello, and welcome back. Just a second. Can you see that? No? Okay. Do you think they can see it, Claire? No? Okay, I'll help you. To be worth. Okay, to be worth. To be worth. To be worth. Strange expression. How much is English worth? How much is this ring worth? How much is a good education worth? I remember the same teacher. When I was in 5th grade, quinto de primaria. I was 10 years old, maybe, 11. I turned 11. Cumplí los 11 años en el tercer mes de quinto. I turned 11 in the third month of fifth grade. In the United Kingdom, they say primary. I think they say primary 5. I was in fifth grade, and I didn't like that teacher. I hated that teacher. Miss Kelly, Mrs. Kelly, all right? But for some strange reason, many of the anecdotes I tell on my classes are from that year with that teacher I didn't like. She said things that were sometimes wrong, okay? But I remember one thing. She said, children, boys and girls, do you like school? And we all said, no, yeah, we hate school. And the teacher said, well, would you come to school every day if you were paid $10 a day, $10 por día, which is about 10 euros. And all the students said, yeah, of course, wow. If we were paid $10 a day, every student, I would come to school for $10 a day. And the teacher said, well, you are already receiving $10 a day because the value of your education, if you finish it, is worth all the days multiplied by $10 plus additional money that you earn in salaries as an adult. The difference between the normal salary or earnings as an adult, if you have a good education, if you don't, is the equivalent of $10 a day for every day of your school life. And everybody, all the students says, wow, yeah? She said, yes, so continue coming because the money's invisible, but you're receiving $10 a day. That's how much your education is worth. Huh? And when you finish your secondary education, then you have the option of entering the labor market and to start working, or to continue in higher education and to study at a university or a college. And that's an important decision for some people. It's a dilemma because education is expensive in time and in money. And you think, is it worth it? Or is it not worth it? Is it worth it? Or is it not worth it? And there are calculations that can quantify the value of higher education, higher learning. There are studies that calculate the value of going to the university and finishing it. How much is it worth? Well, some experts say it's worth 10,000 euros a year for the rest of your life. If your average salary for the rest of your life without a university education is, let's say, 20,000 euros a year, well, with a university education, it's worth 30,000 a year. And the possibilities are even greater if you work very hard. So, how much is a university education worth? Perhaps it's worth at least 10,000 euros a year more than if you don't have it. It's worth the equivalent of $10 a day for every day of school in primary and secondary school. Okay? Maybe it's worth it. So maybe it's worth it. Other people will tell you, it's not worth it. Forget it. Don't go. Aristotle Onassis became rich. He never went to the university. Bill Gates dropped out of school. To drop out of school is abandonar el colegio, o la universidad en este caso, a mitad de camino. He dropped out. He's a dropout. He dropped out. And of course, he's now considered the richest man in the world. Stephen Jobs, the founder, creator, promoter of Apple Computer, the Macintosh, etc., Apple Computer and other companies, he dropped out of school. He didn't finish. So really, Michael Dell, you know Michael Dell? Yes, Dell Computers, ordenos Dell, okay? He dropped out of school. He didn't finish. He went to the University of Texas, and he was living in his dorm, que es residencia estudiantil. I know the building. I stayed in the same building where Michael Dell stayed one or two decades later. And he was a student in his second year of university, and he started a small business making by himself computers on order, custom made, a pedido. And now he's the biggest producer of computers in the world. And when the business started going well, he quit school. He left school. He dropped out. He didn't finish. So I've named 4 very wealthy people, 3 still alive and 1 dead. Michael Dell, Bill Gates, Stephen Jobs, and Aristotle Onassis. They could tell you, a university education, forget it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay, to be worth is valer. No vale la pena. It is not. Expresión rarísima. Let's listen very carefully. Let's dissect. Diseccionemos. Let's dissect this expression. It's not worth it. It is worth it. Que sí vale la pena. O merece la pena. It is worth it. Very strange. But that's how we say it in English. We make the contraction. It's not worth it. Or it isn't worth it. We can contract on it is, we can contract on is not, or it isn't. It's not. It's, or it isn't. Me personally, I think I say it's not worth it. It isn't worth it. I say both. I think I say it's not worth it more often. And in the affirmative, I always say, it's worth it. Do it. It's worth it. It's really worth it. Come on. Learning English? Is it worth it? Or is it not worth it? It depends. How old are you? 77 years old. Are you retired? Yeah, okay. Do you need English for travel? Do you travel? You don't travel. You live on your pension, and you have a small pension. So you don't have enough money to go to America or to Canada or to Ireland, UK. You don't have enough money to travel. What's your current level of English? Low intermediate, which means it's not very high. And you want to learn English. I'm not sure if it's worth it. I'm not sure if it's worth it. I'm not sure if it's worth your time and effort. You find it stimulating. You enjoy this class. You like it. It's a challenge for you. It's intellectually stimulating to try to improve your level. You're 77. So you're learning English only for English sake. Se escribe sake, como la bebida, like the Japanese drink, sake. So you're learning English only for English sake. It's a hobby. It's a pastime. It's a dedication for you. Okay. I admire your attitude. And I admire your decision. You have made an admirable decision. You're 77. You don't need to learn English. But thanks to this class, you've decided it's a stimulating intellectual activity that keeps your brain active. And that's the most important thing for people your age, is to keep your mind sharp. Many people who live a long life, it's because they are very active intellectually or mentally. Bertrand Russell, the famous English mathematician and philosopher, lived to be 99, I think. And he never stopped thinking, okay? Many more people. Pau Casals, the famous cellist from Spain, from Barcelona, Catalonia. He was always playing. Pablo Picasso, he lived to be 91, 92. He was always active, creating new things. So yes, I agree with you. I think it's a good idea. So you're 77, you don't need English, but still, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth the effort and worth the time and worth the money you pay to buy this Vaughan method, all right? With my face and my classes and with the audio CDs and the book. All right, so it's worth it. Okay, how much is a good secretary worth? In the organization, have you ever had a secretary? for you, a personal secretary, a personal assistant. Many times now we say a PA, a personal assistant, a personal secretary. Okay? Have you ever had a personal secretary? How much is a personal secretary worth? Okay? How much is a personal secretary worth? A good secretary. Some people say, I remember my old boss said, Cloverdale, a good secretary is worth her weight in gold. Vale su peso en oro. She is worth her weight in gold. And I was only 27 years old. I was very impressionable. And so I said, wow, yeah, I suppose you're right. A secretary is worth her weight in gold. But then I made the calculation. And I said, okay, 1 ounce of gold is $500. $500 on the international market. $500, 1 ounce. There's 16 ounces in a pound, okay? Which means it's about $6,000. No, it's more, I'm sorry. It's almost $8,000 per pound. And a good secretary weighs 140 pounds, okay? Well, let's say it's a very petite, very small secretary. She weighs 100 pounds, okay? Which means, okay, if 1 pound is worth $8,000, that means the secretary times 100, that's $800,000. The equivalent in gold, okay, for a good secretary. And 100 pounds is only, it's very small. That's about 47, 46 kilos. So it's a very short, very small secretary. And most good secretaries are so really it's $1 million or €1 million. Do you think a good secretary is worth $1 million? Now my friend, my ex-boss said, Clovey, a good secretary is worth her weight in gold. Now, if I were with him, I would say, no, Mr. Evans, it's not true. A good secretary is not worth her weight in gold. Maybe she's worth her weight in silver or bronze. Maybe she's worth her weight in copper. But she's not worth her weight in gold because for me, $1 million is too much money to pay for a secretary, even if she's the best secretary in the world. So, when people make these statements, she's worth her weight in gold, take it with a pinch of salt. Maybe it's not true. And calculate the price of gold. Okay? That's another. Also, this ring. This ring is made of gold. I don't know if it's made of solid gold or if it's gold plated. In English we say solid gold, oro sólido. In Spanish you say oro macizo. This is made of gold. How much is it worth? ¿Cuánto vale? In Spanish, you say cuánto vale también cuando pedís el precio. You go to the market and you see a special, ¿cuánto valen esas manzanas? That's very strange in English. We don't say how much are those apples worth. We say what's the price of those apples, or how much do those apples cost? Or this pen, how much does this cost? Excuse me, how much is this pen? How much does this pen cost? What's the price of this pen? But if you go to the shop and say, excuse me, how much is this pen worth? The shopkeeper will look and says, well, it depends, okay? Worth is intrinsic value, not actual price. How much is this ring worth? I don't know. It depends on how you approach, cómo abordas el tema del valor. It depends on how you approach the concept of worth or value in this ring. My wife bought this ring for me. I don't know how much it cost. I really don't know how much it cost. Maybe it cost 200 euros. Maybe it cost 500 euros. Really, I don't know the price of wedding rings, okay? So how much is it worth? Well, if you think of it in terms of the purchase price, precio de compra, if you think of it in terms of the purchase price, it's worth 200 euros, all right? Now, If you take this gold and you melt it, I think this gold is about half an ounce. Okay, half an ounce, media onza. Okay, that means I need 32 of these rings to have 1 pound. And the price of gold on the international market is $500, 400 euros. So that means that if I melt it down, si lo fundo, and I sell the gold, this ring is worth $200, the same as the price. Okay? Now, this ring is a symbol of my marriage to a very special woman. So, this ring is worth millions. Okay? Because of its symbolic value. So to be worth is a relative term that has a lot to do with the intrinsic value of something you have or something you want. Okay? To be worth. To be worth. This pen cost probably €1. How much is it worth? For me, pens that work, no problem, are worth more than €1. I mean, what I get out of this pen, lo que saco de esto, extraigo, el jugo que extraigo de esto, what I get out of this pen is worth more, in my opinion, than €1. Really. This is an incredible invention. You go back 150 years, and people had feathers from a bird that we call a quill. On the bird, it's called a feather. When you use it to write, it's called a quill. And then we had a bottle or a container of ink, and we put the quill into the ink. And then we wrote 1 line or maximum 1.5 lines. And then we needed a blotter, to make it dry. And then we continued. And it took forever. This invention is absolutely incredible. Just pushing this, we can start writing. And it lasts maybe for 3 months. If we use it continually, it lasts for 2 months, 3 months, or maybe a year, depending on, siempre la preposición on, depending on how much we write. So this is worth, in my opinion, much more than €1. Much more than €1. In the year 1900, at the turn of the 20th century, 107 years ago, I'm sure people in general would have paid easily $500 for this pen. Now we pay €1. The 500 euros because of the ease of use, the facility of writing. We're spoiled. Somos mimados mal acostumbrados. We're spoiled. We have so many things now. We live so well materially, and still, y aún así, and still we complain. Okay. This pen nowadays, hoy en día, nowadays is worth, well, it costs €1. In my opinion, it's worth 10 euros, 15 euros. But 100 years ago, this pen would have been worth much, much more. Okay? To be worth. And very important, the expression, vale la pena. It's worth it. No vale la pena, or no merece la pena. It's not worth it. Is learning English worth it? It depends on your situation, but in many cases, yes, it's worth it. Is buying this collection of the Vaughan method worth it? I think so. I think it's worth it. But if you're not going to get off your posterior and make an effort, then it's not worth it. It depends on you. Whether el que este curso de inglés ahora valga la pena o merezca la pena o no, depende de usted o de ti. Whether, el que valga o no, whether, con doble H al principio, whether this course is worth it or not, whether this course is worth your time and effort or not, depends on you. You get out of this life what you put into it. It's a simple investment and return. You get out of life what you put into it. And if you put a lot into this course and to English in general, then this English program right now is worth it. I guarantee you. Okay, thank you.